Thank you, Mr. President. I rise during Police Week to honor the brave men and women in North Carolina and across the nation who serve in law enforcement. Thousands of officers and their families come to our nation's capital every year to pay tribute to those who made the ultimate sacrifice to protect our communities. Each name added to the memorial wall represents a story of courage, selflessness, and sacrifice. Unfortunately, North Carolinians know all too well about the kind of sacrifice. Today, I want to honor three heroes who we lost in North Carolina since last year's Police Week in May 2024. Last September, North Carolina was hit by Hurricane Helene, one of the worst natural disasters in the state's history. The historic flooding and devastation caused by Helene required an all-out effort by first responders who were working around the clock. One of those first responders was Court Officer James Lau of the Macon County Sheriff's Office. Officer Lau's vehicle was swept away by unexpected floodwaters from a river in the immediate aftermath of Hurricane Helene. Officer Lau was a Vietnam veteran, and his law enforcement career spanned nearly 4 decades across 3 states. In fact, Officer Lau was 75 years old. He was already fully retired, but he continued to serve his community as a security officer at the Macon County Courthouse. He's survived by his wife, 5 children, and 4 grandchildren. We also remember Major Michelle Lynn Quintero of the Madison County Sheriff's Office, who was only 48 years old. She was tragically killed by the same storm and fast-moving floodwaters by a dam that had overflowed and took down all the power, radio communication, and phone service. Major Quintero was swept downhill and was hit by a tree careening in a fast-moving water. She served more than 17 years with the Madison County Sheriff's Office. Major Quintero is survived by her husband, who also works in law enforcement, and she is survived by her 2 children, both of whom work for the Madison County Sheriff's Office. Late December last year, on the day before Christmas Eve, Greensboro police officer Michael Horan was shot and killed while responding to a call about a man with a firearm in a grocery store. The murderer fled the scene and led law enforcement on a multi-county chase. The brave men from multiple law enforcement agencies apprehended the suspect on Interstate 40. Officer Horan was a reservist in the United States Coast Guard, where he earned multiple awards, including the Coast Guard Enlisted Person of the Year Award in 2015 and 2019. He was posthumously promoted to the rank of Chief Warrant Officer earlier this year. Officer Horan served with the Greensboro Police Department for 7 years. He was only 44 years old and survived by his wife and children. While we can't stop natural disasters or accidents, lawmakers can play a role in helping reduce the intentional targeting of law enforcement. That's why I continue to push for the passage of the Protect and Serve Act. This is legislation that I introduced that makes it a federal crime to intentionally harm or attempt to harm a law enforcement officer. It also gives prosecutors new tools to penalize criminals who target law enforcement. Officers go to work every day prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice for their communities, and they need our support now than ever. I had a colleague of mine in Judiciary Committee today make a great point. That uniform now includes a bulletproof vest. They know what they've signed up for. They wear that as a matter of procedure because every single day they go out there and they assume they may be shot at. I'm asking my colleagues to consider the importance of this legislation and encourage them to take a stand on behalf of law enforcement officers who are no longer with us. There's a reason the Protect and Serve Act is supported by law enforcement groups across the nation. The Fraternal Order of Police, the National Association of Police Organizations, the Police Officers Defense Coalition, the North Carolina Fraternal Order of Police, the National Sheriff's Association, and the Major County Sheriff's Association. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know why it is hard for any member of the U.S. Senate to get behind this bill. It simply says that we're going to raise the stakes for anybody who would knowingly do harm to a police officer. To every officer serving today, thank you for your courage. You've earned my unending gratitude. By supporting this bill, members of the U.S. Senate can demonstrate their enduring gratitude to law enforcement. By not supporting it, I don't know what that says, but I know it's something that in North Carolina and among law enforcement agencies, it's not good. To the families of the fallen, your loss is shared by a grateful nation. We will never forget your loved one's service, nor their sacrifice. God bless them. God bless law enforcement, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you, Mr. President.